Hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about how exponential functions can be used for solving compound interest problems. We know about two kinds of formulas for doing exponential functions. One is y equals a times b to the power of x. We use this formula when the questions are given in the form of a scale. For example, it says that the population will become double or triple or become half. When they give you the scale, we use this formula. When they give you a percent rate, like an increase or decrease percent rate, the formula, for example, if they say that it will become 3% or 30% decrease or 40% increase, when they talk in terms of a percent like that, or a rate like that, we use the second formula. We change our b like that. 1 plus or minus rate to the power of x. We use the plus if it is an increase. We use the minus if it is a decrease. We also know that if b is greater than 1, it's going to be exponential growth, and if b is less than 1, it's going to be exponential decay or decrease. Now, all our problems in compound interest are going to be b greater than 1. This whole part is going to be our b, is 1 plus rate. Whatever we have the rate, we're going to add 1. We're going to ignore the negative here because it will never be a decrease for compound interest problems. It will always be an increase. So 1 plus rate, it will be a number greater than 1 here. B will be a number greater than 1 all the time because we're adding 1 plus to get the B. 1 plus rate to get the B. So this second formula is what we are using in this whole section. We can connect the second formula to a new compound interest formula here. It's basically the same formula, we're just using different letters to denote the new terms in compound interest. Compound interest is when you put money in the bank and the money pays you interest, the bank pays you interest and you get more money in the end. So A is the money that you get in the end. A is the final amount. P is the amount that you put in the beginning or invest in the beginning. R is the rate of interest paid by the bank, and you have to change that in decimal always in this problem. N is the number of times this is compounded. That means some banks will give you the rate twice a year. Some banks will give it to you 3 times a year. Some banks will give it to you every month. Every month they will give you the rate. So that is called compound. T is the number of years for which you put your money in the bank. So here I'm just introducing to you all the different new variables. It's basically the same formula, exponential growth formula, but which is changed like that. So we are supposed to know how to write formulas for given questions and to also actually use the formulas to do problems. So here's our first problem. It's already done for you. I'm just going to explain it because we don't have to solve it. We just have to write formulas here. We don't have to solve it. Dory has $400 in an investment account that earns 3% per year compounded monthly. So I put P as 400 because that's the money we start with. And I just want to quickly write the formula from the previous screen because you guys cannot see it. Its amount is equal to principal times 1 plus r over n to the power of rt. Sorry, not rt, it's nt. Number of times. This is the formula. I'm just going to write this formula over here. So the part A is asking me to write a recursive sequence for the amount of money in her account. So here, recursive is always set up like this. A term an is connected to the term just before it, an minus 1. So an, this much part is there in every recursive formula. An is equal to an minus 1. All you have to do is see what do you have to multiply with an minus 1 to get an. This parenthesis is all you have to figure out. This parenthesis is the same as what goes in here. This this over here, okay? The 1 plus r over n is what you have to put over here. The rate here is given to be 3%. We know that 3% can be written as 0.03 when you change it to a decimal. You divide it by 12, you divide it by n here, see? R over n. So 0.03 divided by 12. How do you know n is 12? Because it says it's compounded monthly. So n will become 12. So 0.03 divided by 12 is given to be 0.0025. So when we compare with our old exponential equation, RB is 1 plus R. That becomes 1 plus 0.0025, which is 1.0025. That's what we need to put over here. 1 plus this fraction, which is 0.0025. You don't have to solve it. Leave it like that. You're done. How do you write an explicit formula? Explicit formula, remember, is given by n is a1 times the rate to the power of n. All you have to do is substitute for a1 and r, and you got your formula. A1 here is 400, so instead of a1 I put 400. R, or r is like our RB, okay, is 1.0025 to the power of n. Then we have write an explicit formula for the amount of money in her account after t years. So it's the same formula as part B. All you have to do is multiply t by n by t. That's the only difference. There's nothing to explain here. It's just the different way the formulas are. Lastly, I've done a problem for you guys. Maya invests $200 at 6% compounded yearly. Write a recursive formula for the amount. Again, I write the formula. It's 6%. So I change 6% to a decimal. It's 0.006. And it's 1 plus 0.006. So I got my rate. So all I have to do is plug it over here. An equal an minus 1 is true for every recursive formula. All you have to do is put the parenthesis there. When it's explicit, you write, you substitute for a1 and you substitute for the b, and you just write it as, plug in the numbers and just write out the formula. That's all you got to do. And I've also done an extra problem. Pretty much self-explanatory. There is $800 compounded monthly at a rate of 7% for 3 years. P is 800, rate is 7%, 0.07. N is 12 because it's compounded monthly. And T is 3 because number of years is 3. Here's a formula. Plug it in, put it into the calculator, get your answer. Round to the nearest cent means round to 2 decimal places. Don't overthink it. This is just a straightforward session where you plug in numbers in the calculator and you get your answer.